Welcome back on the AM show. We get talking now about the extractive sector, and the Ghana Mining and Energy Summit is a biennial conference and exhibition organized by the Ghana Chamber of Mines with endorsement from the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, the Minerals Commission, and the Environmental Protection Agency. And of course, we do know that the GMES has grown exponentially since the maiden event in 2013, 10 years ago, and it attracts industry participants, I should say, from across the world. Now, GMES 2023, the fifth summit in the series, is themed Harnessing Mining and Energy Potential for Sustainable National Development. And to help me get into those all-important matters, we have the CEO, Ghana Chamber of Mines, Dr. Suleimanu Kone, and engineer Dr. Celestina Alote. She is Vice President, Head of Sustainable Development at Goldfields, Ghana. Lady, gentlemen, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Even before we came into this conversation, especially for you, Dr. Alote, we were talking about taxing sanitary pads and all of that. I don't know whether you got a bit of that conversation. We should remove the taxes, so.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
You
have an advocate.
It should not be there in the first place.
It should not be there in the first place. I don't know why we are not emulating other African countries on this, because I have decided to champion that on air to give a voice. And I cornered the parliamentarians and they accepted to take it up in Parliament. So as we keep adding our voices, maybe we can take it up from there. But let's talk about this event that is coming up, the Ghana Mining and Energy Summit. I'll start with you, Dr. Kone. What is it all about?
It's about having intimate conversations about our endowments in energy and mining and how we can actually harness this for sustainable national development. Over the years, we've recognized that generally, when we're speaking about mining, we tend to be speaking just exclusively about mining. And when we are talking about energy, exclusively about energy. But there is a nexus. There is potential for us to harness these two key sectors of the economy for broad-based socioeconomic development for our dear country. And we believe that this summit will really help us to interrogate some of these issues for the good of the country. And I'm quite excited about this summit.
If I were to pose the same question to you, the purpose, what the summit seeks to achieve, Dr. Alote, what would you tell me?
Well, mining has always been a leader in the practice of sustainability. We do so because of our stakeholders, and then a lot of us are global companies. So with us, we have a lot of good practices that I believe we should be able to share with other industries. So for us at Goldfields, being a world leader in sustainable practices, we see this as an opportunity for mining companies to share knowledge. We see it as an opportunity for us to interact with government, to interrogate, just like as Dr. Kone has said, how we can work together to improve. I mean, this morning I've been listening to your program, a lot of talk on energy, what we don't have, the cost of it. Yeah. And so as mining companies, we want to bring up these issues and find how we can find synergies to reduce electricity use, to reduce the costs, to look at alternative technologies, alternative means of generating power to help move our country forward.
And I see a host of entities that are supporting you bring this. But even as all of this support is coming in, you'd ask yourself, what are the key areas that are going to be addressed, at this summit? What are the topical areas we're going to be addressing? I'll start with you this time.
Yeah, so one of the topics, the main topics, is climate change. And then that is energy. So
the big elephant in the room.
Exactly. We want to, mining companies currently are on a track implementing a lot of positive climate change initiatives at our operations. So for instance, at Goldfields, we have done a climate resilience study. And based on that, we are moving away from the use of diesel towards, much friendlier sources of energy, electricity generation.
So cleaner forms of energy.
Exactly. So currently, when it comes to our Accra office, we're using 100 kilowatts solar installation to power the office. Other mining companies are using things like solar hybrid air conditioners, photo cells to reduce electricity usage. A lot of other initiatives. Currently, we are trialing the use of BEV in our light vehicles.
I see.
Exactly. So, we are at the forefront, really. Mining companies are at the forefront of trialing these electrical vehicles using them instead of diesel to reduce, first of all, the burden, of importation of, diesel and fuel, and then also to reduce our carbon emissions. So these are some of the topics that will be discussed.
Interesting commitments, especially where we find ourselves in Africa and facing the brunt of things, even as we seek to industrialize versus the other countries that have already industrialized, so to speak. But Dr. Kone, coming to you, those crucial areas that are going to be discussed, if I asked you to pick what your highlights would be, which ones would they be? Which ones are you most expectant, looking forward to?
Probably I'll be selfish in this particular case because I'll be speaking in the areas around mining, energy, and manufacturing, and how we can harness these two sectors to actually grow our manufacturing base. I'm quite excited about that because we see the potential, we see the opportunities for us to grow our manufacturing base, either through value addition of mineral products that our member companies actually produce, as well as opportunities we provide in the value chain of the mining industry to say, look, we are a captive market. If you're able to produce and produce competitively, you don't really have to stress. Companies are there to actually act as off-takers immediately, and these are issues I'm quite passionate about. I'm hoping that it would really be exciting for everybody to hear and appreciate that there are huge opportunities within the mining value chain for us to actually grow manufacturing and other sectors of the economy.
Now, this is a paid event, and there should be justification for someone to want to fork out that sort of money to come and attend this conference. Tell us a bit about why people should be making, beelines to attend this August event. Tell us a bit more about that. I'd like to hear from Dr. Kone before I come to
Very interesting. There are a number of people who want to have engagements with the movers and shakers, so to speak, of the industry. All of these guys are coming to the summit. And so that is the place to be. Not just that, but the kind of interactions we are going to have, the topics we are going to discuss, climate change, nexus between mining and security. Without security, you can't have meaningful mining or even oil and gas industry. All of these discussions, I believe, will be quite illuminating. And I guess that companies and individuals who will come there will leave the place well armed with the kind of information for them to be able to endeavor to do business with the mining industry. It's also about networking and cross-fertilization of ideas. So we believe that the mass of people we've been able to invite to participate in this summit should serve the purpose and serve the interests of those who actually would want to participate, want to pay money, good money to actually participate, because we believe that they will leave the premises of the Accra International Conference Center between the 7th and 9th, better informed about opportunities and how they can navigate around the mining industry and then the oil and gas industry as well.
Dr. Alate, Dr. Kone already started talking a bit about some of the topical areas, the nexus and all of that. I'd like you to just tease out a few of those topics you're going to be discussing come D-Day.
Yes, so, he spoke about, localization is a big drive that mining has initiated. And one of the things, as a Vice President of Sustainable Development, that keeps me awake is how we create value locally. And so, for instance, at Gulf Coast, we're spending about 92% of our all our purchases locally. We want to improve that. We want to be able to find out how we can, together find out business entrepreneurs who are looking for opportunities, just like as Dr. Connie said, so that we can find out how we can incubate businesses, how we can encourage Ghanaian businesses, because we are big players. We have our spend is huge, so we are hoping that we can find individuals interested in entrepreneurship that we can work together with to improve, generation of income locally. Another topic that for me is also a highlight is also gender. That is one of the topics on there. Kwejiri Agri said you educate a woman, but after educating her, you need to employ her. And so mining companies have started a drive of increasing the number of females that are participating in the industry. And that is also one topic we want to find out how we can encourage the young ones coming up, in STEM projects to learn, because sometimes people are worried that there might be no jobs. They're also worried that mining industry is a very harsh industry. So we want the opportunity to share, like people like me and some of my female colleagues. So let our sisters or our younger sisters encourage them to take up STEM projects, because there's employment opportunities and it is doable. The industry is not a harsh industry at all.
So moving forward, what are your expectations? Come the event, post the event, Dr. Kone, what can we look forward to? Give us the relevant dates.
We're starting on the 7th, which is Wednesday, starting at 9:30. And then it's a 2-day conference. So the second day will be on the 8th. And then on the 9th, we have our AGM. So the exhibition will run for 3 days, conference 2 days. And then on the last day, we have our AGM. The expectation, like I said, is that people will be well informed about the industry and the opportunities. Doc mentioned some of the opportunities for females, and what we need to really grow them within the industry at various levels of the sector. So more about information, sharing ideas, and I believe that we should be able to come up with actionable decisions. So it's not just talk, but at the end of the day, we are able to collate decisions we can actually implement and identify stakeholders we want to be engaging with, practically at the policy level. So for example, Ministry of Trade and Industry, what do we need to do? Our own sector ministry, what do we need to do? As well as the Ministry of Energy. So it's quite all-encompassing.
All right. Ladies, gentlemen, any concluding comments? Anything else that you'd like to share with us and our audience ahead of this event?
Well, what I would say is that mining has always been at the forefront because it's a heavily regulated industry at the far front of cutting-edge technology, state-of-the-art technology. So I think it would be interesting for people to come, particularly other industries, to learn, because the intention is to share knowledge of what is doable within the Ghanaian context. We are doing it. We are trialing BEV vehicles in Ghana. And so we encourage people to come to this summit to see what mining has to offer. It is not always that mining is negative. We are doing a lot in the area of sustainable.
Yeah, I think I want to reiterate that. We expect people to come and witness some of the good things we're doing in the mining industry. They will never be disappointed coming over. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suleimanu Kone. He is CEO, Ghana Chamber of Mines, and Engineer Dr. Celestina Alote, Vice President, Head of Sustainable Development, Goldfields at Ghana. Thank you so much for joining the conversation.
Thank you for having us.
And